Here's this. Oh my god. Here's the settings of the world's only all split pred. I'm gonna keep this super simple, unexplained. I'm gonna keep this super explained and simple. Whatever, so like that. What are these guys doing? I'm gonna go over each row and simply in-depth explain everything. So strap up, it's gonna be a long one, but at the end of this, you'll definitely use probably most of it. The main thing you want to have for gameplay is you want to have the least amount of clutter on your screen to keep everything very simplistic, so you have the most focus on your game, which starts with in a rank prompt style. You want to have it on compact because on default, if you look at an item, there's a lot going on, and like you don't need any of this. Let's be honest. Even if you're a new player, you're like, this is it's too much. Just put it on compact. Wait, look at that. Already looking cleaner, less clutter on your screen. And for button hits, same reason. Have it on. It's just like, okay, I don't need, like, I'm not switching from mouse to keyboard. Like, I don't need to know, okay, wow, is it bracelet? Okay, you don't need to know that. It's just, again, extra clutter on the screen for no reason. Of course, that's if you know what buttons what. Like, if you're, if you're an advanced player. Crosshair damage feedback, some people don't. The people who have it on X are the same people who have it off, but you definitely have it with shield icon, so you know how much health the person has. But even if you have it off, it will still say if the person's dry. Ping opacity faded, same reason. If it's, well, it's kind of funny. Wait, actually, this set doesn't work. Um, yeah, I still see the ping. I guess it's talking about like normal pings. Yeah, like that's kind of faded, so like you could see through it, right? And then take this off, right? And then you could like see it. Yeah, like blocks more. Yeah, it just blocks stuff. Like, just blocks your screen. Definitely have it faded. Obituaries, that's gonna be the kill feed. Definitely have it on. Who trades what, is there knock, where you're pushing, how many knocks. Minimap rotation. I personally have it off since I started playing this game, so I don't need it, but some people have it on because it helps some people to like easier understand like the direction that they're facing. I've had it off since the game started, so I always have it off as it's just preferred. So okay, weapon cycle on MT is really preference depending on what game you came from. Like, so most games don't have an option for this, and some games when you press the trigger when you're 0 bullets, it won't switch, and you have to press like weapon swap. And in some games, it auto switches. So having this on, if you're coming from that specific game, it'll actually mess you up because if you press Y when your weapons when your ammo's out, game will swap it for you, and then you press it, so swap it back, and then you just double swap, and you're just looking at the enemy, just staring at him with no bullets left in your mag. It's a mess. There is a specific time window for it, so I have it on. I still press the button, but I have it off because it doesn't affect me. But yeah, it's really preference depending on what game you came from. Auto sprint always. This is one of the important things. Always have it on. Most games, actually no, every single game from honestly, they only started implementing it in the past couple of years in games, like around the Apex came out. But always have it on because you don't have to press the button to start sprinting. It's just auto does it, which means it's less finger work, so your fingers not getting as tired, and you could do a lot more combos with it. You'll actually be faster at doing a lot of things. So for example, aiming here, pressing the button, and then doing this, that takes too long. So with it on, you just aim in here, move forward, and do a slide, so you're always ready. You could basically, this enables you to do a lot of slide shooting, which is what always you want to do. So definitely have it on. It's a very important settings if you're trying to advance or become better at movement. 100% have it on because you don't have to think about pressing the button, and it just makes movement a lot easier. Jetpack control, I have it on toggle because I have it on toggle for the same reason I have crouch on toggle. I'm just really good with it and I'm used to it. But having it on hold is much easier, and it actually allows you to jetpack boost way more efficiently. It's also less finger work, so also better to not tire your fingers out as much. Incoming damage feedback, you could have whatever. This is honestly just preference. Taking damage closes that box. This is a big one. Always have this off because if you have it on, if you're, well, let's say there's like caustic gas or especially storm. I don't know if they fixed storm yet. I don't think so, but it will get you out of the box when you're going for it. So if someone's shooting at you and you're going for a box, or you're in storm, you're in caustic gas, it will get you out of the box. and you missed your armor swap. You're right there, you clicked on it. How did it not get off? Because you got auto taken out of the box. So always have this off because you can actually go for armor swaps mid-fight. And if you're trying to advance, that's definitely the next step to do, is armor swap a lot more efficiently and while people are shooting at you. So definitely have this off. Pop up. It just doesn't matter. It's for such a short time and it occupies such a small space. You might as well, but if you're going for a clean gameplay where you already know everything, have it off, but it really doesn't matter. It occupies like a very small space for like a few seconds. Anonymous Known, I have it on for ranked. Yeah, I don't even gotta go in depth on that. If you have it on and you stay in the game and people look at your box, it actually won't show who you are until you back out. If you're trying to be like completely hidden, yeah, that's what, a lot of the cheaters do, so you can't get their names. Usage sharing, this is preference. If you want EA to collect more personalized data, I would recommend disable. Cross-platform, it's actually kind of funny. They give you an option for this because they have to give you an option for this, but you actually can't disable it. You have to go into your settings on your console to disable it. Funny thing, PC players don't even have the option to disable it because then they would get no queue times or it would take ridiculously long. Performance display, always have it on so you know, like, if you're lagging, are you actually lagging or are you just tripping? Know your ping, like, oh, I just got killed behind a wall, what's going on? Oh, I'm 160 ping. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh, my bullets aren't registering? Oh yeah, I'm okay. Club invites, preference, I have it on even though I decline every single club invite I get. I have it on. Reticle, you can actually, you can't make it black, only on PC, and I'm not sure if they patched it or not, but you can actually like neon some, anyways, PC can have a lot of stuff. But on console, there's no, like, any title that's like the best reticle color, there's no such thing as best reticle color. I personally change it from time to time. I just randomly change it because for fun, why not? It gets boring, after a while having the same color, so I just like change it to spice things up a bit, but there's no best color. Just don't have anything that blends in with a lot of environments, because then you can lose focus. If you're looking for the best reticle color, it really is just red, because red is the most like eye-popping color. That's why they also like use it for planes and stuff. Laser sight, same thing, except laser sight's more meaningless because bullets don't actually go where the laser sight is. It's kind of funny. There's no best. Red would be the most noticeable one, but I just changed it to whatever to keep the game fresh. I got nothing to do with this, so this is preference if you're into that. All right, controller settings. Listen up, controller players. This is the most important. So you want to always have, you always want to make it so you can access any buttons and do important actions on your controller without ever taking your thumb off the stick. So you'll always be there and ready. Oh, I need to reload. I don't need to take my thumb off to reload. I can keep tracking while I reload. Oh, I need to swap weapons or holster. Oh, I don't need to take my thumb off. I could keep tracking while I'm doing it. Oh, I need to crouch. Yeah, I don't need to take my thumb off and look like this, but instead always be there. So basically, you always want to have your thumb on the stick so you can do any actions. So you're always there ready, and your aim is always targeted towards the direction you want it to go. So there'll be no downtime between you not being in control. Which is why most people use 2, recommended at least 3 paddles. For me specifically, what I found, I use 3 paddles. I can't get myself to use 4. It's just the easiest for me. Up here I have jump. On the other side I have crouch, and then down here I have reload. It's really ergonomically comfortable for me to press all these buttons. I don't have weapon swap, and I actually pressed Y for the longest time until I was so upset. Like, you're not able to go in a corner, look this way, and take it out. But when you switch it, you can. Oh, so annoyed that my movement got slowed down. I can't holster and take out my gun when I want to, but when I can, I actually moved it. So now, or S, so now my right stick is my melee. Makes things so much easier. This way, my thumb is always on the stick and I can do any action without taking my thumb off the stick. Except for Y, which is my melee, because I swapped him. But melee has such a strong assist, even on PC, that you don't need to be constantly tracking, like shooting your gun and with movement. You just need to be in a general direction, and it will hit the enemy. Melee's not an important action, that's why I don't have that map to a paddle or anything. Interact reload button, always have it on tap for both of them, because holding down X to reload just takes an absurd amount of time. So always have it on tab. Now, if you swap it to tap use and hold to reload, you can actually reload while you're on a door. But that whole thing is pointless because if you're on a door, on a body or box, it actually won't let you reload. But the go around for that is you just have to shoot out the remainder of your bullets, press trigger, and it will auto reload. So you don't have to have it on hold. Crouch, oh, that's a heated one. I have it on toggle because I've always had it on toggle ever since I started gaming, and I can bunny hop heal with Octane and Bloodhound on crowd toggle because I'm very used to the timings. I've also played this game for so long. I'm so used to all the timings in the game that I could do it. It is a lot harder, and I do recommend if you want to have an easier time or if you're just more used to have it on hold because it does make things a lot easier. But me personally, I have it on toggle. Aim button, people change that. Survival slot allows you to do animation. A survival slot is only useful for heirlooms really, so you can like spin them. And if you have a character without one, oh, never mind. I somehow have that. If you have to create that without one, it just cracks their knuckles. But the catch is you actually can't do it while you're auto running. So you have to jump. You have to be in the air to do it. But if you're playing ranked or you're not a streamer, you're not a content creator, I would definitely recommend having it on because in those situations where you need the heat shot like immediately and you don't want to waste the time to go into your inventory, or if you're just not quick like that, or you just need a mobile like right away in that second, you can just like place it down right away. Trigger dead zones, a lot of people actually don't know this, but trigger dead zones actually the game defaults you on default. You want to have it on none. This pretty much removes the small delay of how long you have to hold down the trigger for before it actually registers and you start shooting or aiming down. So definitely have it on none. And if you have an elite controller, you can shorten that even more, so it's even more responsive. Menu cursor speed. Okay, here's the best advice I can give you on this. Don't have it too high. Don't have it too low. Some people think it's too slow, so they put it high, and then they go in a box and they miss items, and they have to go back and get them. Don't have it too low either, because then it takes too long to armor swap. Like it takes so long to scroll up, and don't have it too high either, because you're gonna miss what you want. You're gonna have to go back for it, which in turn makes it longer for you to loot and also get to items and drop them and all that stuff. So I would say keep it at a medium pace where you can do everything perfectly fine. That's what I have it, like 10 to 13 ticks in. Look sense 4-3. If you ask many other good aim players, they'll all say 4-3. It's just the best sense for this game that feels honestly the best. It's not too slow, it's not too fast. Per optic, I've always had this off since the game started, so I never really cared for it. So, and it makes no difference in anything, and anyone that clickbaits you with anything it's just a clickbait. If you have it on and you're used to it, keep it, because if you change your sense, you're not gonna get good with any sense if you constantly keep changing it. But if you have it off, don't get into it. It's literally, it will not make any, it won't change anything. Just have it off. Response curve, I played a lot of Titanfall, which is made by the same devs, and the games run on the same engine, so I have it on classic because I'm just more used to that. But most people also use linear. Don't use high velocity. Don't use fine aim, and I don't even know what steady is. Look, dead zone, always want to have it on small. Always want to have it on. Look, dead zone, always have it on none. Have it on small if you have like hard stick drift, but a very, very minor stick drift, you'll still be good on small because it gives you the least amount of latency between when you hit the stick to a direction and when it actually registers input. So always have it on none if possible. Movement dead zone, same thing. Have it on small. Inverted look, off. Preference from where you started gaming with. Vibration, here's the thing about vibration. People have it on, and the people who have it on have a really hard time taking it off because they're so used to having it on that when it's taken off, they just don't feel like their aim is there. That's because, especially with different controllers, it's the motors are different strengths. No matter how difficult it is to get used to, it's really not gonna be that difficult. Always have it off because the controller actually, when it vibrates your hands around. Even if you've been playing on vibration since you started playing and you have good aim, it's still not as consistent, and you will have better aim if you take it off because those vibrations, unless you have an elite controller and you put the vibrations all the way down so they don't really vibrate your hands and move them, always have it off because it will like shake your aim and it will make it more difficult to aim. Advanced look controls, ALCs, yeah, that's the heated one. This is a complete scam. Don't get into it. Any clickbait video, the best ALCs, this will help your aim a lot better. And then they show like a one clip that's like doesn't have a lot of magnitude. Dude, ALCs, is just a waste of time. Because if you constantly keep changing your sense, you'll never find a sense that'll be that comfortable. Because all sense is just muscle memory. And if you change it just by a little factor, just like that, it'll mess up your muscle memory. Do not have ALCs on. If you already don't have it on, don't try to experiment with it. Don't fall for any type of clickbait videos on it because I'm here to tell you it's a waste of time. If you already have it on, then give it to you. What? 4-3, 5-3, and 4-2 is like the way to go sense for Apex. And no, ALCs in no shape, in no way gives more or less aim assist, except if you have the option on. Video brightness, just like for all competitive games, you don't want to have it on default. You want to have it higher than that so you can see some really dark areas on the map. Some characters have like special skins that fit in with the environment, and with your brightness turned up, you can actually see them. I have it on 70%. It's not too bright, but I can also see like every dark corner on the map. But definitely have it higher than normal. FOV, you always want to keep this between 100 and 110. It really makes not much big of a difference between 100 and 110, but you do not want to have anything lower than that. And here's why. FOV, you want to have it at the highest as you possibly can because it gives the most advantage. Like for example, right now, I can only see this dummy on my screen. I have no clue there's a guy on my right and there's a guy on my left. As soon as I increase my FOV, oh, I know. There's a guy on my left, so I'm more aware, right? You can see more, you're more aware of your surroundings. And the whole thing about aiming, your sense will feel different on a higher FOV because you're able to see more. But it's so minor that you actually get very used to that like very quickly. It also depends on your monitor. If you have a curved monitor, definitely have it on 110. That's what I use. If you have a flat monitor, I would say keep it somewhere between 100 and 110. Don't go lower than 100. Probably like 100 will be good because flat screens with high FOV will be a little bit weird. But if you have a curved monitor, have it on 110. FOV ability scaling, actually, if you want to have more consistent gameplay, have it off, because that means when you're in Bloodhound or like an Octane Stim, or when you're even sliding, super gliding, when you're in the air, it actually changes your FOV a little bit, which could mess with your aim. But I play this game so much, I'm trying to make it more entertaining as possible, and having like very small FOV spikes when I do certain movements just makes it look cleaner, so I have it on. Frame view shake, always have it minimal. Always. You can't take, so for some reason, they don't allow you to take it off, but have it on minimal so it's not shaking. I mean, self-explanatory. Audio, this is all preference except for dialogue. You want to have dialogue very low so you can hear when the characters say there's a third party so you're more aware. But you want to have it on low because it's a lot of extra clutter. Especially for characters that use their abilities a lot, they kind of spam and it just gets really annoying and it ends up cluttering your gameplay and your sound. So you want to have it low, preferably off. The only important voice line is when characters sit as a third party. But if you're playing pubs or something, it really doesn't matter. So I'd recommend to have it off if you want the cleanest and clearest gameplay. But I have it on 4 just because that's low enough to where it's not annoying and I don't hear it when I'm like shooting. But it is enough for me to hear when there's a third party.